Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming back to So How's Real Estate? I'm Jim Hegemier of Leslie Wells Realty, sometimes known as just Jim the Realtor, as it saves people from trying to pronounce my last name. And this is where we talk about what's happening today in real estate in the Tampa Bay area. Now, let's face it, our area is one of the ground zeros in real estate trends in the country today. Now, there are one or two other areas in the nation that are good barometers of the marketplace, but when real estate professionals are assessing the national market, the Tampa Bay area is usually in the mix. You should know that I don't intend to give financial advice or legal counsel. For that, you can call 1-800-ASK-SOMEBODY. But I will share with you some of the ins and outs of real estate today that you won't learn on the cable TV shows. Oh, how I wish it worked like it does on TV. You know, you show 3 houses, somebody makes a decision on one, and we move on to the next transaction. And that all happens in 30 minutes. No wonder why people try to do this on their own. As you may have well figured out by now, new construction is on the rise. All you have to do is observe the big trucks on the highways carrying the roof trusses, the concrete blocks, and other building materials. You know, I hear nail guns and hammers in the neighborhoods that were once silent. I see big yellow heavy equipment thingies moving dirt everywhere. And I see parking lots at the local building supply houses filled with subcontractor trucks in the early morning as the worker bees are getting their materials for the day. Folks, this is good. These are signs of recovery. And I've taken listings on homes this month for sellers that are buying new construction. You know, I've also been able to assist the buyers in the selection of a qualified builder. I was able to help these buyers in the process of not only choosing a builder, but being able to coordinate the closing of their home with the construction of the new home. Listen, I admit that this is not rocket science, but there's a half a dozen things that you need to know, such as what happens if the builder's house doesn't appraise and the seller's existing house sells, but now we can't get financing on the new house? Oh, Jim, that couldn't happen. Oh, yeah? Well, it did, and it took me as a realtor to fix it. What happens when the new construction home is not able to get a CO because of a technical issue? We've been 6 months watching this home go up, the financing trigger has been pulled, and we can't get occupancy, and the moving trucks are at your door. Oh, Jim, that can't happen. It's all brand new. Oh, yeah? Well, it did, and it took a realtor to fix it. You know, when you're doing a walkthrough on your new home for the final inspection, look around the room and count the members of your team. Let's see. You have the new home salesperson. You have a representative from the builder's office, usually a punch-out person. No, I don't see anyone representing your interest other than you. Now, here's a myth that I'll share with you, and you can consider this as free information. Somebody said the other day that they didn't need to hire a home inspector because they were building a new home. And the builders take care of all that. Wait a minute, where's my buzzer? Hold on. Always get a home inspection on every home. Someone actually told my wife the other day that they didn't need a realtor because they were building a new home. Now, here's what's going to happen. In about 3 to 6 months from now, my wife is going to hear a sob story from this same person about what that SOB of a builder did to them. Listen, don't get me wrong. 99.9% of the builders out there are awesome. And I think we have a great relationship because they know that I know that they know that I know. Well, I'm just saying, if you're going to go at it alone on new construction, you better know. Or better yet, why not put someone on your team who has your best interest? Someone who does this for a living, and by the way, it doesn't cost you, the buyer, anything. It's a budgeted expense added to the price of the home before the shovel hits the dirt. So you might say that the cost of putting a member on your team is already budgeted whether you use a real estate professional or not. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know what time it is. That's right. It's time for Let's Ask Donna Wilcox. Hey, Donna Wilcox, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Jim Hegemier. How are you doing today?
I am terrific today. Hey, listen, congratulations on earning your CIPS designation. You know, it's truly an honor to work with a professional of your caliber. You know, I know that it took extensive training and in-depth study, but what is CIPS and how does that apply to me, you know, the average Jim Q public that's thinking of buying or selling a home? How does that work for me?
Well, it's really very exciting, and it should provide you as a buyer or seller yet another area to be able to sell our homes with visual tours, all the pictures throughout the world now, Jim, not just locally.
Okay.
The CIPS stands for Certified International Property Specialist. And in order to acquire that, you have to have X amount of international market sold areas done first. You have to have qualifications of working with various and sundry international committees. The consortium out of Orlando is one of my favorites because they generate excellent referral business for us. Mm-hmm. But let's get back to the buyer and seller real quick. And what would Jim Q Public get more from me by being an international realtor now than perhaps the guy down the street that has not been checking out what's going on in the state of Florida? Our Florida market is the number one designation throughout the entire world, Jim, for purchasing homes and condominiums. Now, what do you think of that?
How about that? That's awesome. That's why we're here.
That is why we're here. And another reason why I went forward with my additional international certification. So I had those nice little spider webs throughout the website to let people know that any of the homes I list, that they're going to be reaching out now to buyers through the web and also through all the different consortiums of what's out there on the market for them to purchase. And the United States right now is making it quite easy for people to be able to come over here and purchase a home. Just how long they can stay, we're hoping it's going to be corrected soon. But then take the buyer. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you're sitting here in, let's say, Manatee County, and you are hoping to sell your $500,000 or $600,000 house and can't seem to get anything moving because no one is aware of how gorgeous the home is, and locally the economy is not supporting the dollar value that your home is truly worth. So what do? I advertise out called World Properties. And World Properties connects to all the wonderful, wonderful buyers out there that are excited to come to Florida. And for a change, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you perhaps are not going to have to reduce your price because you are at the good market value. You're going to have an international buyer come through that says, this is the home I want. And 9 out of 10 times it's going to be a cash purchase very quickly, and they're very knowledgeable, so appraisals are done, inspections are done, but it's a very, very good market for all of us to be in, Jim. And I hope I didn't talk too long regarding this, but I'm truly excited about it.
Well, that's awesome, you know, and again, I'm proud of you for doing that, and I know that there's an influx, you know, in the of people coming into our area. Are you expecting the European market or an Asian market, Appalachians, or what type of a client are we looking at coming in?
We have 3. Once again, thanks for asking. The number 1 is Canadian.
Okay.
Number 2 is in the England area. Number 3 is in Brazil, believe it or not.
Okay.
Now, it might be a little more difficult for us to generate Brazilians to come to our side, only because they love the Disney World aspect.
I see.
And they are purchasing condominiums and suitcases in the Orlando area just as fast as they can right now. The Miami market is not as fantastic as it once was, and those Brazilian areas are moving over, I shouldn't say areas, but the Brazilian client are having a tendency to move over Alligator Alley into the Naples area. So we're seeing a transition of the Brazilian market there as well.
How about that? Well, it's all about timing, and I think we're all in the right place at the right time, don't you?
I know we are. And say, tell you what, don't know how your last meeting or your first meeting was about the housing. How is that going for you, Jim?
It's going well, thanks for asking. But, the reality is there's still such a need for affordable housing in our area. The truth is the demand is much higher than the supply. But I'm honored to be on a team that addresses the issue. And we have our work cut out for us. But I do look forward to it. And again, I appreciate you asking, Donna.
My pleasure entirely.
Well, listen, I know you have to go. You've got a busy day today. I saw your schedule today on the board.
I appreciate you saying that. I do have to run.
All right. Listen, my friend, take care and congratulations.
Thanks very much, Jim.
All right.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, Donna Wilcox. That's actually a huge deal. That's a great accomplishment that Donna did. Listen, shoot her an email, Donna@lesliewellsrealty.com to find out more information about the CIPS designation. Once again, congratulations, Donna. Well, how much time do we have left? Oh, wow. Okay, well, listen, the next topic could be dedicated to the next 6 podcasts or so, and we could actually spend more time than that on it, but I promise we won't. But I do want to introduce the subject today, and then maybe we'll hit it a few more times on other shows. Here it is. What happens if you want to sell your house, but you actually owe more on it than what the market value is? And we've established that the market value is based on comps in the same or similar neighborhood, not what wishful thinking is. First off, don't feel alone. You did nothing wrong. You did not make a bad decision when you bought your home. You did not pay too much. You made a good decision at the time. But the time changed. In the game of musical chairs, the music stopped and there were hundreds of thousands of homeowners without a chair to grab. Well, join the club. To some extent, we're all in the same boat. Here's the worst thing that you can do. Are you ready for this? Nothing. The worst thing that you can do is sit on the sideline, take no action, and have a pity party for yourself. Well, good luck, because no one's going to come to your party. You have to take action. Make a decision. Do something. I get it. 4 or 5 years ago, no one knew. We didn't know what to do when we saw the train wreck. But we all scratched our heads going, oh, shoot, now what? Well, today there's no excuse. We have options. There are programs in place and more on the way. Are they perfect? Not even close. In fact, some of the first programs introduced were, quite frankly, a joke. The first step for you as a homeowner is to identify where you are. How bad is it? What type of loan do you have? Was your loan sold to Fannie or Freddie by your lender? If you don't know, find out. Call your lender. The phone number is on your payment stub or on your booklet. How many mortgages do you have? Do you have a HELOC that's tied to your mortgage? I'm saying that once you figure out where you stand, then you can look at your options. How do you find out what your options are? Well, you need to get educated, and quickly. You need to add a professional to your team, someone who works solely on your behalf and not your lenders. Here's a news flash. Sometimes lenders will give you inaccurate information. Listen, this is a major legal issue ahead of you, and there's no point in bringing a knife to a gunfight. Your lender will recognize that if you do, and someone's going to get hurt, and it won't be your lender. Friends, hire a real estate attorney. Will it take money? Well, yeah, but it's worth it. You bet, over and over again. And now that there's success in this, legal professionals will work with you on the financing arrangements. There's no reason in the world not to hire a real estate attorney on this journey. For crying out loud, hire a tour guide that knows the way. These negotiations are tied to the IRS and other federal entities, and you're going to want full forgiveness on the deficit that you allegedly owe. You want to make sure that there are no income tax implications on the forgiveness, and folks, this is huge, but it's doable. It's doable if you have the right people on your team. From my experience, there's only one way to tackle this issue, and that's the right way. Now, we're going to talk more about this because it is a real estate reality. But for now, we're out of time. I want to thank Pastor Bob for the hot guitar licks. Thanks, Donna Wilcox, CIPS. Apologies to Leslie Wells. Maybe next month. And thank you for listening to So How's Real Estate?